Alrighty ladies and gents, how you guys doing? Welcome to Apple Not So Weekly. Where have you guys been for the past few weeks? Why have you not been watching the weekly Apple Weeklies that I've been putting up? Where are the comments? Where have you guys been? I am of course, just messing with you. I haven't put up any Apple Weeklies in the past 3 to 4 weeks, and I apologise, there is no excuse. And to make up for it, I'm going to be handing out an iGear vest in this video. This is in addition to the iGear goodies that I'm handing out on the iGear Facebook page, so you've got 2 opportunities to win. All you have to do if you just want to enter into the YouTube giveaway is post down below iGear abuse me or anything that you want, and I'll choose a winner within the next week, so all the best. Going straight into the first piece of tech, and you cannot have escaped this news. The iPhone 5 and a lot of parts have leaked. I think this must just be a world record for an iPhone part. Everything from the internal dock connectors to the battery itself to the pins to the material to actual kind of, case leaks have come out. Manufacturers have started producing cases in bulk, when they even haven't got confirmation whether this is just kind of, a really poor rumour or if this is the exact thing. So manufacturers are really placing a gamble on this, but basing from what we are seeing just now, it does kind of look accurate, as has been the case in the past. So here are some of the updated pictures, and my oh my, don't they look absolutely nice. I love the aluminium or the unibody cases around the iPhone, and specifically LTE chipsets, thinner, lighter. It's a bit taller, could we be seeing a bigger screen, different dock connector, and tons of rumours, echoes, kind of a imminent launch. I say imminent, within the next maybe 4 to 5 weeks. We could see it in September, well that is the rumoured date, mid-September, so fingers crossed. There's been reports that we're going to see an iPhone 5 launch in mid-September, and then a week later we'll see the actual launch. So yeah, those of you who have just bought an iPhone 4S, your head should really be meeting a brick wall or a desk ideally, and kind of going back and forth, especially if you just bought a 4S. I can understand if you've bought a 4 or a 3GS, but if you bought a 4S, lack of research, sir. So next up, Mountain Lion was launched a few days ago, and by and large it's been great, apart from the hefty file size that it was. And there's been a few issues, and one in specific, which is kind of trending on the Apple support forums, is the degrade in the battery life. Specifically, some tests were carried out. So one person was using a Retina MacBook Pro, and using it with Lion, they would get out roughly about 8 hours. After installing Mountain Lion, they were getting 5 hours only, so roughly about a 35% drop there. Similarly, on Apple support forums, there's a 700 post thread with people with similar problems, and one person in specific spoke to Apple support and they said an update will be coming out soon. So if you've just bought your first Mac, not to worry, hopefully a software update is in the works, and in fact, as I speak, 10.8.1 beta has been released to developers, so maybe that is going to have fixed the issue in the next few days. And for those of you who haven't updated and kind of wanted the initial batch to test it out like myself, I haven't downloaded or installed Mountain Lion yet. So a wise move on you, sir. I was thinking of installing it this week, to be honest, but I'll give it another week or 2 weeks maybe. No rush. Next up, the YouTube application on iOS is a pile of, insert the word here. I've said it from day one, it's horrible. The web browser version is way much better, but the application really should have been much better. But Google obviously, didn't want to give the full experience. They wanted people to go out and buy Android devices, but I'm not too sure how the YouTube experience is. So those of you who have Android devices, let us know how the YouTube experience is on there. But specifically, iOS 6 beta, which have been released to developers, don't contain the YouTube application. And Apple released a statement once, developers were up in arms about it, saying, where is the YouTube application? And supposedly the contract with Google and Apple have ended for the YouTube application. But the good news is Google is working on a fully revamped version of the YouTube application. Finally, after X amount of years. This really isn't major news, but some people just made it out to be if it was like groundbreaking news. I never used it, to be honest. I only used the web browser version because the application was just always laggy. So come the next build, whenever that may be, Google, hopefully it's going to be much more polished off and much more user friendly, and you know, the whole kind of placement of where everything is, uploads, and I just think there could be a lot more done, especially for the iPad version. It's just absolutely poor. And last but not least, 13-inch Retina MacBook Pros. How many of you are waiting for it? The series which I done on the Retina MacBook Pro, a lot of comments suggested people really wanted a 13-inch version, which no doubt is going to be making its way to the Apple Store and to your doorstep for those of you waiting. And the good news, ladies and gents, is that they're going to be released pretty soon. Geekbench scores have been released for the second time. You know, when Geekbench stuff comes out, it's not really accurate. It can't be 100% certain that this is indeed, you know, a specific machine. But for it to come out the second time and have a similar scoring, as you can see from the screen, does point out that they are accurate results. Specifically, the motherboard identifiers on these machines point out to something that we've seen in previous OS X mountain lion builds. So they correspond with that, and that can only mean one thing. Apple is somewhere underground testing out these new machines. When they are going to be released, that is the big question. Of course, back in May we've seen iMac Geekbench scores, and yet we've still yet to see an iMac refresh to happen. But the 15-inch non-Retina MacBook Pros also had a Geekbench score released in mid-May, and then finally we've seen the launch of the MacBook Pros a few weeks back. So iMacs, although their Geekbench scores were released in mid-May, we're yet to see a refresh. 13-inch Retina, this is the second time it's happened, so could it really be around the corner in the next few days, the next few weeks? Time will only tell. My estimate is that we're going to see new iMacs first before a 13-inch Retina MacBook Pro. So I'm saying end of this month for the new iMacs / start of next month. And then Retina MacBook Pros come the October-November timeframe. I hope earlier, but the good news is we're not going to have to wait till next year for a 13-inch Retina. Here's the question that I want to put out to you. If you've got a 15-inch Retina MacBook Pro, would you go out and sell it to replace it with a 13-inch Retina, and why? I guess the why really is it's lighter, it's thinner. My only gripe is, and I know this is going to be the case, 13-inch Retinas come out and they are literally going to be poor in spec, i.e. the low end model is going to have 128 gig of flash and then 4 gigs of RAM or something absolutely ridiculous like that, and then you'll just think, why not get a 15-inch which is just kind of more beastly. I hope I'm wrong on this. I hope they at least have 8 gigs of RAM, 256 flash, but I'm thinking that's really going to be the high end of the machines, and it's going to be approaching that, you know, low end 15-inch Retina barrier, and you're like, you know, why not get a 15-inch? The dilemma. Guys, that is it for this week in Apple. I hope you liked it. Feel free to like it, share it, and remember the giveaways that are happening both in this video and the iGear Facebook page. So good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.
Whether
Cheers, guys.
it be an iPhone, a Nokia, HTC, Samsung, heck, any smartphone on the market, it's compatible with our garments.
There is indeed a pocket for this and a pocket for that. You can buy it today at iGear.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. You never know, you might be the next one to get in on our free giveaway.